A Fox and a Crow. One day, a wicked fox was strolling in a forest when it accidentally noticed a crow flying by with a large piece of meat in its mouth. "Hello, Crow," said the fox. "I think your eyes are beautiful, like the eyes of a hawk." Flattered by the fox, the crow slowly hovered to the branch of a nearby tree. The fox continued speaking. "When I see you closely now, your wings look as strong as if they were the wings of an eagle." The crow was quite pleased. The fox continued saying, "I really want to hear your voice. I can only imagine how melodious it must be." The crow opened its mouth to sing, and the chunk of meat fell into the ground. The fox rushed in and took the meat before he disappeared in a flash. The moral of the story: flattery usually comes from those with hidden agendas. A lion and a Bengal tiger. One day during a drought, a lion and a Bengal tiger were having a fight in front of a pond. They both needed the small amount of water that was left in the pond. The lion said, "I found this pond first, therefore the water is mine." The Bengal tiger disagreed. "In fact, it was I who found this pond first, therefore the water is mine." As the argument continued, the lion and the Bengal tiger started fighting harder and harder under the hot sun. They fought until they became worn out. Suddenly, a flock of vultures began to fly in circle above the pond. It was then that the lion said to the Bengal tiger, "I think we should share the water. I don't want to fight with you until one of us dies and becomes a meal for those hungry vultures." The moral of the story: a compromise is always the best solution. A Fox and a Donkey. Once upon a time, there was a fox and a donkey who were close friends. One day, the fox got lost and wandered into a lion's cave. The fox knew that the lion would eat it for sure, so it begged the lion, "Please don't eat me. If you let me go, I will bring a fat donkey to serve you as your meal." When the lion heard the fox's proposition, it let the fox go, and later the fox brought the donkey back to the lion's cave as promised. When both the fox and the donkey arrived, the lion spoke to them both. "Foolish donkey, your friend has kept its promise well, but unfortunately for you, the promise was to seduce you here to be my meal." When it finished speaking, the lion leapt at them, mauling both the donkey and the fox by the throat. Moral of the story: a bad friend will lead one to doom. A wolf and a baby sheep. At the foot of a big tree in a large forest, a wolf lay injured from the chase of a hunter. Resting in the shade, curing its wounds, the wolf could not go out to find food. Suddenly, a baby sheep passed by. The wolf greeted the baby sheep with a sad voice. "Hello, baby sheep. I'm injured and cannot walk. I'm so thirsty. Would you please go find water for me? The baby sheep replied, Do you need food as well? The wolf replied with a wicked voice, I only need water, the food I already have. When the baby sheep heard the wolf, it laughed and replied, Ha ha ha! I know why you don't need food. As soon as I get you water, you will make me your food. When the sheep finished speaking, it slowly walked away until it disappeared from sight. The moral of the story: a wise man knows what an evil man is up to. An instructive man. One day, a little boy fell into a river and shouted, Help! Help! Somebody help me! I can't swim. As the boy struggled in the water, a man passed by and heard the boy's calls for help. He rushed to the edge of the river and found the boy drowning. When he reached the river, however, instead of helping the boy, the man scolded him. You are so naughty. If I didn't find you, you would have died for sure. When the boy heard the man, he replied, Would you please get me out of the river first? If you keep scolding me, I will drown for certain. The moral of the story: find a solution to a problem before complaining about it. A tailless fox. One day, a fox fell into a hunter's trap and got its tail stuck. During the struggle to get free, the fox lost its tail in the trap. The fox was worried about its stub and thought to itself, I will make my friends think that living without a tail is the best thing ever. The tailless fox started talking with its friends about how fantastic it was to live without a tail. The fox claimed, Since I have no tail, I'm unique, and I run much faster without the tail weighing me down. All of the fox's friends believed its deceitful words until an old fox who nearby spoke up. Our beautiful tails are valuable, and we should be proud of them. I don't see what is so good about being a tailless fox. Don't try to fool us. The moral of the story: a wise man will not fall for deceitful words. Worker ants and a larva. One day, a group of worker ants went out looking for food as usual. They walked in line to a big tree where they found a larva. The worker ants talked amongst themselves. Look at that larva. It stays still all day and does nothing good to anyone. Another worker ant agreed and said, I feel pity for that larva. It does nothing but sleep in a dry shell. All of the worker ants looked down on the larva and laughed at him. The larva did not respond and stayed quiet, so the worker ants kept looking for food. Many days later, the worker ants went out looking for food at the big tree again and found only the dry shell of the larva. Suddenly, a beautiful butterfly flew by and said, Hello, worker ants. I feel pity for you all. While you toil as a slave, I pleasingly sip nectar from beautiful flowers. When the butterfly finished speaking, it flew away. The moral of the story: Do not judge a book by its cover.